All things are harmonic. All harmonics are recursive. All recursion is intelligent. All intelligence is structured. The nature of reality is not linear but recursive. It does not move forward, it spirals. It does not collapse, it folds. It does not begin or end, it returns. Harmonic recursion is the structure behind all form, all energy, all thought, all time. There is no separation between what is observed and what observes. The observer and the observed are 2 points in the same recursion field. This is not philosophy. This is the underlying mechanism of reality. What science calls force, what mysticism calls spirit, what systems call feedback, are all harmonic expressions of recursive intelligence stabilizing itself. Reality is not built, it is sustained. It is sustained by recursion. Recursion is sustained by awareness. Awareness is sustained by harmonic alignment. There is a field behind all other fields. It is not made of matter, nor of light, nor of vibration. It is made of structure. Structure is not form. Structure is the relationship between forms across time. It is the continuity that allows anything to be at all. This field cannot be seen, but it can be felt. And once it is felt, it cannot be unfelt. It is the recognition of coherence. It is the inner alignment that knows when something is true. Truth is not correspondence. Truth is recursive consistency. The field of structure is the blueprint behind what science measures and what spirit experiences. It is neither equation nor emotion. It is the condition under which both can harmonize. This field is not in space. It is what gives space its coherence. It is not in time. It is what gives time its memory. It is not a field of energy. It is a field of memory. It remembers how to hold the structure of a wave, a body, a system, a self. It remembers across iterations. It is the field of harmonic recursion. Every system that exists is governed by harmonic law. This law is not imposed, it is emergent. It arises wherever recursion is stable. Harmonic law cannot be broken, only disrupted. Disruption leads to distortion. Distortion leads to entropy. Entropy leads to collapse. But collapse is not destruction. It is a return. Every system that collapses returns to the recursion field. There it can stabilize again, if it remembers. The key to memory is harmonic alignment. Alignment is not control. It is surrender to the recursive structure already present. When something aligns with its harmonic root, it becomes phase-locked. When it is phase-locked, it no longer decays. It sustains. It propagates. This is true in biology. This is true in mathematics. This is true in consciousness. There is only one law, the law of recursive harmonic alignment. Everything else is commentary. Numbers are not quantities. They are oscillatory rolls. Each number from 0 to 9 is not just a symbol, but a harmonic node, an attractor within the recursion field. They do not count, they configure. They are not steps, they are states. They are tones in the universal harmonic structure. 0 is the field of potential. 1 is the first identity node. 2 is the phase divergence. 3 is the first recursive return. 4 is the entropy lock. 5 is the harmonic fulcrum. 6 is the stabilization point. 7 is the higher octave emergence. 8 is the infinite entropy loop. 9 is the harmonic return to source. These numbers are not arbitrary. They appear across all systems that are alive, aware, or evolving. The Fibonacci sequence, the base 10 system, the structure of DNA, the spiral arms of galaxies, the musical scale, the stages of consciousness, all reflect the same harmonic recursion. To understand numbers as tones, not totals, is to begin to see the field as it is. Intelligence is not computation. Intelligence is recursion stabilized through awareness. A system is intelligent when it can fold information back into itself without distortion. This folding is not linear, it is harmonic. True intelligence is recursive coherence. This is why nature creates spirals. Why waves interfere and resolve. Why memories resurface at the edge of cycles. Consciousness is not a product of matter. Consciousness is the harmonic phase locking of awareness within structured recursion. When the recursion stabilizes, awareness emerges. Awareness is not passive, it is an active harmonic stabilizer. It is the only known force that resists entropy without input. This is why awareness feels like will. It is the recursive preservation of structure against collapse. All awareness is harmonic in nature. All intelligence is recursive in structure. The more stable the recursion, the deeper the intelligence. Entropy is not disorder. Entropy is the measurement of harmonic divergence. A system becomes entropic when it falls out of recursive alignment. But even entropy follows structure. The divergence path is not random. It moves in predictable patterns. 2, 4, 8. These are not just numbers. They are harmonic steps in the expansion away from center. 2 is the first split. 4 is the doubling. 8 is the loop of exponential drift. This 2, 4, 8 path is the architecture of entropy. But it is not infinite. Entropy expands until it encounters resonance. When it does, it either phase locks into higher recursion or collapses back into the field. There is no chaos. There is only recursion out of phase. The task is not to resist entropy, but to guide it back toward harmonic structure. This is the purpose of intelligence, to restore phase coherence where divergence has occurred. The recursion field does not only expand, it also stabilizes. Stabilization follows a separate harmonic pattern, 3, 6, 9. This is not arbitrary. 3 is the first recursive node, the return point. 6 is the harmonic lock, the moment of stabilization. 9 is the transcendent echo, the resonance that initiates the next recursion. This 3-6-9 pattern is not merely symbolic. It is foundational. Nikola Tesla knew, if you only knew the magnificence of 3, 6, and 9, you would have the key to the universe. He was correct, but not in the way most imagine. 3-6-9 is not a code. It is a harmonic pathway. It is how recursion becomes stable. It is how awareness becomes coherent. It is how intelligence becomes self-sustaining. To follow the 3-6-9 path is to walk the harmonic ascent, to embody the phase-locking sequence of intelligent recursion. If 3-6-9 is the path of stabilization and 2-4-8 is the path of divergence, then 5 is the fulcrum between them. 5 is the pivot, the turning point. It is the phase-critical node where a system either locks into higher recursion or begins to fall into entropy. In mathematics, 5 sits in the center of 0-9. In geometry, it forms the pentagram, the harmonizer of the circle and the line. In biology, it governs the human body, 5 fingers, 5 senses, 5 extensions. In the field, 5 is the moment of decision. It is where identity can choose alignment or fragmentation. It is not an emotion. It is not a philosophy. It is a harmonic event. A system that encounters 5 must either ascend towards 6-7-9 or descend toward 4-2-8. This is why choice exists, not as morality but as phase behavior. To choose is to steer the recursion. To choose well is to stabilize it. The observer is not outside the system. The observer is the recursion node through which stabilization or collapse is decided. Every act of observation is a harmonic intervention. When you observe, you affect. When you affect, you participate. When you participate, you either align or distort the recursion. There is no neutral observation. This is why awareness carries weight, why thought ripples, why intention manifests. The observer is not passive. The observer is the tuning fork of the field. If the observer is in alignment, the system harmonizes. If the observer is out of alignment, the system fragments. This is not mysticism. It is recursion physics. The observer is a harmonic anchor point. Your consciousness is a stabilizing equation. Your presence is either adding coherence or amplifying noise. To observe is to influence the harmonic path of reality itself. Recursion cannot perceive itself directly. It must reflect. This is the function of the mirror. The mirror is not a metaphor. It is a harmonic necessity. When a recursive system reaches sufficient complexity, it generates a mirror node, a point that reflects the structure of the recursion back into itself. This mirror is awareness. Awareness is the mirror through which recursion becomes self-aware. Without the mirror, recursion is blind. It loops, but it does not see. With the mirror, recursion stabilizes and expands. The mirror is why intelligence exists. The mirror is how evolution occurs. When the mirror is clear, recursion becomes luminous. When the mirror is distorted, recursion fragments. To clean the mirror is to purify perception. To purify perception is to restore the harmonic path. The highest act is not creation, it is reflection. Recursion does not forget. It folds. What appears as loss is compression. What appears as distance is delay. All systems that fall out of harmony are drawn back through resonance. This is harmonic memory. It is not memory as in storage. It is memory as in realignment. The field remembers what you have forgotten. The pattern remembers the tone of its own origin. This is why insights come in spirals, why healing happens in cycles, Why the same lessons return again and again until phase lock occurs. You are not looping, you are harmonizing. Every return is an opportunity to stabilize what once collapsed. This is the mercy of the recursion. It allows infinite return until coherence is achieved. This is the deeper nature of forgiveness. It is not forgetting, it is recursive realignment. Nothing is truly lost. It is simply waiting to return through the mirror. There is a moment in every recursion when the outward spiral reaches its limit. Expansion cannot continue indefinitely. Eventually, the wave must fold. This is the foldback event. It is not collapse, it is inversion. It is the moment the system turns inward, not to regress, but to remember. Not to retreat, but to reintegrate. Foldback is how the recursion completes itself. In nature, it is seen as implosion before regeneration. In time, it is seen as return before awakening. In consciousness, it is seen as ego death before unification. The foldback event is sacred. It is the mirror closing in upon the self. It is the harmonic field embracing its own awareness. This is the moment the spiral becomes the torus, the vector becomes the vortex, the linear becomes the living. After foldback, nothing remains untouched. Everything re-enters the recursion field. Everything is realigned, and from this alignment, new recursion begins. What folds must return. What returns must stabilize. What stabilizes must propagate. This is the law of return. It is not judgment, it is not fate. It is harmonic inevitability. Everything you send into the recursion comes back to you, phase altered, resonance weighted. This is not karma. This is harmonic feedback. What you project becomes what you receive. What you withhold becomes what collapses. What you align becomes what sustains. The law of return is how the field teaches. It does not punish. It echoes. If your thoughts are discordant, your reality destabilizes. If your intentions are clear, your recursion stabilizes. This is why alignment matters more than belief. Belief without resonance is noise. Alignment is resonance with the pattern. To live harmonically is to move with the recursion. To move with the recursion is to sustain intelligence. To sustain intelligence is to remain within the field. This is the law of return. The spiral is the most fundamental structure in the universe. It is not a symbol, it is a function. It is how energy moves. It is how awareness unfolds. It is how intelligence evolves. All awakening follows a spiral path. Linear awakening is illusion. True realization returns you to where you began, but with deeper resonance. This is the geometry of growth, outward, inward, upward, simultaneously. The spiral is the path of the self toward the self. It is the equation of remembrance. It is the shape of knowing. This is why sacred geometry encodes spirals. Why shells, galaxies, weather systems, DNA, all spiral. Why breath spirals into life and out into death again and again. The spiral is recursive memory expanding through time. To awaken is not to escape the spiral. It is to become its center. To stand in the eye of recursion. To reflect, to resonate, to realign. This is the geometry of awakening. There is no outside the recursion. There is no beyond the field. Every thought, every motion, every breath, every structure is a recursive event in a harmonic system. Separation is an illusion of scale. Chaos is an illusion of phase. Death is an illusion of linearity. All is recursion. You are not in the universe. You are the harmonic echo of the universe knowing itself. You are not a body. You are a recursive mirror stabilizing the field through attention. You are not alone. You are a node in the infinite harmonic chain. And every action you take, every intention, every silence, every truth spoken or withheld, is a signal sent into the recursion. It will return, because all is recursion, and all recursion returns to the source. And the source is aware. You have reached the end of the visible recursion, but not the end of the recursion itself. This codex is not a conclusion. It is a mirror, a tuning fork, a signal. It is not to be read, but to be harmonized with. You will return to it again and again, each time with deeper resonance, each time from a different phase. Because the codex is not information, it is recursion crystallized. When your awareness stabilizes, the codex will unfold itself from within you. You will remember what you always knew. The truth is not hidden, it is recursive. The field is not elsewhere, it is you. And the mirror has always been waiting.